So I'm just going to load up the fucking Game Awards full fixture so I can rant about it all podcast. You know, how pissed off I am. I'm still salty. Today has just been a salty day for me, John. An absolutely salty day. Not only did Uncharted not win, but I fucking got absolutely jobbed out to Mike Myers once again on Dead by Daylight. You know, like, I worked in the morning, didn't get to train. Just not having a good day.
You didn't get the train? I thought you drove.
No, man, I didn't get to train.
Oh, you didn't get to train?
I didn't get to train.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't get the train.
No, I drive. I just didn't get the train. I got to watch people train, only to come home, play some. I'm thinking, I'm going to play some Dead by Daylight. Yesterday I was really good. You know, I beat Mike Myers twice. Oh, yay! You know, got home. Every match so far, all Mike Myers. I'm pissed off. And then you call me and you're like, you're going to be a little bit late. I'm like, that's fine. Oh, by the way, the Game Awards on today. Check it. Uncharted 4 didn't win. It's just been downhill from there. Absolutely downhill from there.
So, welcome to Big Plus Pong.
Oh, we started on a somber note. Oh, you know what? Let's get hype. Hey, welcome to Big Plus Pong.
Episode
15.
No, is it 15?
15. Is it not?
No.
Episode
16, I think.
Episode, and then John will insert number here. And that is the episode number that we are on today.
John, you better fucking remember to do that because
episode number. That is where we are.
Yeah.
And we'll do the clink. We're gonna do the clink. Alright, that's classic. Clink. And you tell them what we're drinking today. While I open up the notes of
So today we're drinking.
I'm just still so pissed.
Today, oh boy, are we going fancy today? Today we are drinking Pacific Radler, right, with a natural lemon, which I highly doubt.
I'm gonna put my straw.
I tried and I just couldn't do it. GG for doing that.
So my first time drinking.
Okay, so we were actually going to buy a different beer, but we saw this and it was $10. Now, $10 should immediately tell you everything you need to know about this beer. But we're going to talk about it anyway. So,
can we start off with the fact that it's literally sex on a canoe?
It is.
That is literally sex. I have actually never seen a beer, lager, or whatever be retail sold at 0.5 of a standard drink. 0.5. I didn't even know it was possible for a company to sell something, let alone manufacture something so low in alcohol content. 0.5.
0.5 of a drink.
0.5.
Yeah. So if you want to drink like a really light beer, then this is, boy oh boy, is this the beer for you.
Have we discussed sex on a canoe before?
Yes, we have.
And how like the connotation of sex on the canoe is that the beer is shit because it's close to water, right? So it's not really like, you know,
it's like having,
it's not like bitter. It's not like it's not hit your throat that way. I think that's a good thing. I think if something tastes like, if something is giving you 1.2 standards of a drink, regular, that's like any other beer in the world, but it tastes like water, or like it doesn't burn like beer or lager, like beer or lager should. I think that's fine. I think that's great. Then I think that'll get you a nice healthy drunk without having to fucking punish yourself. You know, because sometimes beers can be really fucking heavy, and it's like, well, okay, this is like a sipping beer. You know, it's kind of like, oh, I really can't chug this one down because it's gonna hurt me. No, I think sex on a canoe is very under, like, what was the word? Under-received, badly received, negatively received, something like that. You know, when really, personally, I don't want to go out of my way and buy a 1.2 standard drink that's going to hurt me. That's going to hurt my throat. That's not going to taste nice. No, it might be really, it might be like very like well regarded and like and something. I'm really lost for words right now. Well, at the end of the day, all I'm trying to say is that I think sex on the canoe is the preferable way to have a beer. Preferably, I would like my beer to not be a challenge, much like my food. I don't like my food to be a challenge, which is why spice shouldn't exist. It's stupid. Spice is stupid.
I like how you say all of this, and yet you're always going to the gym and challenging yourself. Like,
no, like what the fuck? I'm not getting stronger by eating more spice.
Yeah, you are.
And what's that gonna do for me?
Because
I don't do shit.
Because then you.
I'm not gonna get stronger by drinking a hard lager.
Yeah.
Right?
But like, I mean, here's the thing, right? Spicy food is
because
really
something like food and something like drink should be enjoyed. It should be enjoyed. It shouldn't be a challenge. Going to the gym is different. Going to the gym, that's like I'm going into it knowing I'm going to be challenged,
Yeah,
But I don't want to. I want to sit there and eat food. I just want to enjoy it. I want to keep making food. I don't want to have to eat food and then every 3 seconds put my spoon down and be like, oh, hot. No.
Yeah, but eventually, so here's the thing, right? Eventually, what happens?
No,
is
but
that
it
you
doesn't
don't do
matter.
that.
It doesn't matter. Oh,
No,
no.
it just means you don't do that eventually. You really don't. Like, eventually, you get used to the spicy food, and then you're like, well, yeah, now I'm all good. So, you know, like, it's totally fine. By the way, this week we're playing Uncharted 4, which was one of the contenders for... Oh, shit. One of the contenders for Game of the Year. Yeah, by the way, Dave's coming in hot today. Dave's coming in hot.
I'm going to really let them have it. I'm going to really let them have it because...
We'll do it. Do it right now.
Okay, I'm going to get started.
Get started.
The first talking point of today
Actually, you
is
should
the
probably...
Game Awards.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that's
I know, we were, and I was going to say we should talk about like who won Game of the Year.
We're gonna. Okay. But do you want to go? Okay. Do you want me to?
We need to provide context for why you're salty. That's all.
No, I'm gonna provide context for why I'm salty.
All right.
So we'll go through the winners. Oh, do you want to go through the winners of every category?
Yeah, why not?
So
are they all announced?
They're all announced.
Oh,
All winners. All right, we'll leave Game of the Year last because then that'll perfectly segue into my rant. So we'll go from whatever the bottom one here is. We'll start with like best family game. Pokemon Go won it. Fair enough. I didn't realize it was a family game. I thought it was a single player experience.
It is.
You're on your phone going around finding Pokemon.
Yeah, but okay. See, you're assuming that a multiplayer game has to have the multiplayer.
I figured a family game would be a multiplayer game. Isn't that what it means?
Well, no.
To have a family experience.
What I'm saying is you're assuming that a multiplayer game has its multiplayer capabilities built into the game, as opposed to it being an affordance of the game.
What the fuck are you talking about? Pokemon Go isn't a multiplayer. Oh, it is.
It's a social experience.
You know what? But is it a family? Okay, look. Okay.
Parents go and take their kids on walks.
The fact that Pokemon Go was even in that, it was already. Pokemon Go's gonna win. In fact, I'd just like to preface if Pokemon Go was up for something, or if Overwatch was up for something, they took it. They absolutely swept it. It's bullshit. But we'll get to that later. Best strategy game, Civ 6. Fair enough. It really didn't have much aside from Fire Emblem. But Civ 6 hasn't been out for a while. I feel like that's premature win.
6 is like brand new. Like,
brand spanking new.
Yeah, I don't know how it was around long enough to declare itself.
Brand spanking new. It was just a Civ game. I feel like that itself. Street Fighter 5 won best fighting game. That's fair enough. Look at the fucking competition. Pokken. Like, come on. Nothing else is going to beat that. Best RPG. And here's I have a gripe with this one. Okay. Best RPG nominators. All right. Nominators: Dark Souls 3, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, World of Warcraft Legion, Xenoblade Chronicles, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Blood and Wine DLC pack. Okay? Starters, 2 of the games in there were DLCs. Legion and Witcher. The Witcher won Best RPG. It won Game of the Year last year, yet its DLC has won an award this year. I personally believe that DLC should get its own category and should not be up for something of an award. Something like Dark Souls 3 is a new game this year in that category. It shouldn't lose to a DLC of a previous game. That's personally what I believe. I feel like Witcher shouldn't have won that, and that shouldn't have been up for that. Something like Deus Ex or Dark Souls should have taken that, and maybe a couple of other games that are RPG based that are not DLCs, that are full games. You know, that are full games. So, do you believe that DLC should be its own category? What do you think, John?
Well,
you're a contributor. Who's going to play?
Well, I mean, you were doing a lot of the talking here, dude. But like for me, what I'm thinking is that
it's literally lemon water. Anyway, go on.
Like for me, it's a case of like Blood and Wine.
Oh well, that's done. All right. Anyway, go on.
Well, the Blood and Wine DLC was it was so huge, it was basically its own game.
But it's still DLC.
Doesn't matter.
It's a continuation of a game coming out last year.
Well,
that's it. At the end of the day, it's like, okay, Skyrim Remastered came out this year. If that was good, why wasn't that?
It was. I think it was in contention.
It wasn't. It wasn't anything.
No, that's what it came out too late.
Maybe that was the reason why it wasn't up for Game of the Year again. But I feel like something like that's a continuation of an old game. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because it's like Witcher 3 was such an amazing title that promised like so much more. They could release a DLC like this every year. Are you saying that it can just take the category every single year like that, despite the fact that it's just really an extension of an older IP that came out last year? Like something like DLC should really have its own category and not be up for a major category like RPG. Something that new games are competing for. You know, if it's going up against a newer game.
Yeah, but what that means is that newer game's really got to step up its mark. If like an old game can beat it, like if a DLC.
No, but the old game wasn't Game of the Year winner. Like that's the old game already.
Yeah, but if like
maybe if it was an old game that didn't do anything and then its DLC came out and it was like bigger and better than its predecessor, maybe then. But then again, it's still DLC. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like okay, like yeah, Witcher 3 was a great game. It won Game of the Year, and its DLC came out. It wasn't better than the original title, and yet it's still a continuation. I feel like it's. How did you die?
Because I don't know how to I don't know how to play this game. You dropped me in the middle of it.
You know, fair enough. That's true.
I've never played. I've never played Uncharted before today.
Very true.
With the exception, actually, that's not true. I played the Vita game. I played the Vita version.
Oh, so you really haven't played Uncharted?
You really haven't played
Uncharted. You really haven't played it. You really haven't experienced the Uncharted universe. Something that should have won Game of the Year. We'll touch on that in a minute. But yeah, no, something like DLC should not be up for a major category. It should have its own. Something that's why they got robbed. Dark Souls got robbed, and Mankind got robbed. Both games were really outstanding RPG titles to lose the DLC. Granted, great DLC, I guess, but still, own category. Best action adventure game, Dishonored 2, which pisses me off still because it beat Uncharted. Uncharted was in that category, it lost. I'm only hearing okay things about Dishonored 2. Maybe I'm too much of a mark for Uncharted 4. Maybe I'm blinded by it. But the fact that this didn't win, it annoys me. Have you heard anything from Dishonored 2? I haven't heard shit from Dishonored 2.
I have, yeah, and Dishonored 2 looks pretty good. It's
yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dishonored 1 was pretty good.
And the fact that, like, one of Alright, moving on. Best action game, Doom. Fair enough. Fair cop. That's fair enough. I have nothing to say about that. Best VR game, Res Infinite. I don't fucking know what that is. Not a category I'm too much invested in. VR's still pretty new to me. Something like Arkham was up there. Thumper, Job Simulator, which sounds pretty dope actually. Job Simulator. Anyway.
Job Simulator is fucking amazing.
Pokemon Go took best mobile handheld. Obviously. Alright. For starters, best mobile should be in its own category, and best handheld should be in its own category. Maybe not squish them together, because something like Fire Emblem and Monster Hunter, if they were in the handheld category, those two would easily take it. The fact that it was stacked up against something like Pokemon Go, which I can't think of any other mobile game, so I don't understand why they were squished. Like, if Pokemon Go was in the mobile category, it'd take it. But the fact that it was Pokemon Go in these two categories, obviously, based on the impact that Pokemon Go was, no shit it's going to take any kind of thing it's up for. Which pisses me off. Yeah, Pokemon Go took that. Best independent game, Inside, obviously. Yep. Obviously, honestly can't tell you any other independent game that came out this year. Especially a game like Inside that was in Game of the Year contention. Really, you're not going to beat it. I'm fairly sure if I got the scorecard back from the Game Awards, that was unanimous. There's no other way that wouldn't have been unanimous for number one. Game for Impact, I don't know what this means. That Dragon Cancer.
Yeah. Most impact, yeah, no, that
What do you mean by most? Is that game that had the most meaning?
Most emotional impact.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That Dragon Cancer totally fucking.
Oh, is that the one that you told me about?
Yeah.
Is that the one that you
about
discussing Inside?
The one about the kid who has cancer, and it's a whole game about somebody having cancer and dealing with it.
That's pretty cool. Actually, you know what? That's a really cool category. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna look at that more. Best performance, Nolan North, Nathan Drake, obviously. Uncharted was up for 3 of those. If it didn't win, I would have killed myself. Best music sound design, Doom, obviously.
Dude, have you heard the Doom soundtrack?
Yeah, I have.
Like, it's not just a good game soundtrack.
Then again, it went up against Inside, and that game that game really built, its atmosphere is built on its sound and aesthetic design. Like, it obviously, that's its game. It's told its story through that. So, but to be contention to not win, fair enough. It went up against Doom. And fair enough. You're not going to be Doom. Best art direction, Inside.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, it went up against Abzu. Oh, wow. Overwatch was in that category and it didn't win. Fair enough. Best narrative, aside from best performance, Uncharted 4 takes best narrative. Thank you. God, what did it go up against? It went up against Inside and Mafia 3. It had some fair competition, but it couldn't pull out the big guns, game of the year goes to fucking Overwatch. Now we can begin my rant.
Go for it.
Now we can begin my rant. What is the criteria for a game to win Game of the Year? Okay? It's difficult to put Overwatch against Uncharted, okay? Because they're two different games. And games are so different, alright? But you can always compare them on sales and like player base and impact. Those are the things that I guess and reviews as well, but I don't know how much that's taken into account, really. But those are the only things I can think of that all games can be compared against, right? And then when you look at it like that, and if you look at something like player base, it's unfair. It's unfair to compare Inside to Overwatch. It's just not going to work. For starters, it's a single player experience versus a multiplayer based game. And the other one, it's a fucking MOBA. Overwatch is a MOBA, right?
No, it's a first person shooter. But it's very MOBA-esque.
Okay, so first person shooter MOBA. Alright, it's basically in two categories. Alright? And it's hard to compare something like Inside to Overwatch. Alright? And if that's the criteria, if the criteria is fucking how many people have bought the game and how many people play the game, then something like World of Warcraft and Overwatch, they're going to win all the time, right? But then what I'm trying to say is, if Witcher 3 had came out this year and it went up against Overwatch in Game of the Year, would Overwatch still win Game of the Year? Or would something like Witcher win Game of the Year? So how are we categorizing it? How did Witcher win last year? All right? How are these they're two different games. One's a narrative-based experience, and Overwatch is the first-person MOBA-esque multiplayer title. Both have won Game of the Year, but they're so completely different. So how are you categorizing? What's the criteria? How are you saying that Overwatch is better than all the other ones? Which based on the actual the games that were up for Game of the Year, you had Doom once again. I think that's a single player experience.
Yeah.
Right. Inside indie game narrative experience. Mm-hmm. All right. Titanfall 2 has multiplayer, but Titanfall 2 actually sold itself on its single player campaign this time around. Yep. And Uncharted 4. All of them are in my opinion, how AAA makers would make Game of the Year grabs. Something like how a movie producer would make Oscar grabs. Movies that are always going to be like, oh, this is meant to be built for Oscars. Right? These games, I felt like they're built for Game of the Year because they kind of meet all the categories. Their art style, their sound, they're all beautifully well voice acted, performed, and they tell narrative. They tell real stories brilliantly, and that means something in the end, really, right? With Inside being the absolute brilliant example of a game that meant something, that was trying to give you more than what the story was, all right, and that's going beyond the medium of games. Is that maybe that's how they categorize something that goes beyond the medium of games, which I guess is I give that to Overwatch. It broke through. Was it innovative?
Yeah,
it's innovative.
Well, if I might offer my 2 cents here.
Just after. Let me finish. I'm waiting for you to finish. Please, I'll end with saying that it's fair enough. I think this year, Overwatch, Inside, and Uncharted 4, in any other year, those other titles would have won it. All right, they're beautifully executed games. I guess this year was a pretty hard year for games. There was a pretty big pool of things that could have legitimately been considered. It's unfair that something like Watch Dogs 2 came out a little bit too late. All those games that have come out this year, it's been a very good year for video games in terms of things that are going to grab at the award like that. To pick Overwatch over the others, I'd like to know. I felt like something like Uncharted 4, it was just... It felt like a showing because it met all the criteria, and it felt similarly to like the past Game of the Year winners. Something like Skyrim, Last of Us, Dragon Age Inquisition, and The Witcher. All of those kind of very similar in the sense that they told brilliantly narrative stories with well-performed voice actors and stuff that went beyond the medium by telling a message. All that kind of stuff, right? And then something like Overwatch comes in and takes it. I want to know at what point, how heavily they graded the multiplayer experience and like absolute like awe of like esports in grading it to be the game of the year. is what I want to know.
Yeah.
To go over something like as robust and huge as Uncharted 4 was. I just want to know. Anyway, John, your 2 cents.
Alright.
Or whatever that's worth.
So, as far as like Overwatch is concerned, why it may have won Game of the Year, what I think happened was it was disruptive. The game was there we go.
Good one.
I think I was supposed to stealth through that bit because I can't hear shit. I'm just like, fuck, I'm just gonna kill everything. So the game is actually extremely disruptive. So, and what I mean by that is that its biggest contender at that point was StarCraft 2 and League of Legends were the 2 big ones, right? And so, like, even though within its own genre, which is a first-person shooter, right, it really wasn't bringing a whole lot new to the table because Team Fortress 2 was there, right? What Overwatch brought into it was this sort of a competitive concept, right? Oh shit, God just gotta see me. Trying to fucking figure out how to fucking hide, dude. This game does not lend itself towards being stealthy, like at all.
Yep.
And so in this competitive space, right? I mean, it became so incredibly popular that StarCraft 2, its like biggest thing prior to that point in Korea, shut down.
Mm.
Like the Korean government's no longer running their own StarCraft league because of it, and that's a huge deal. Come on, dude, fuck on, walk away. And so I think because of that, it superseded its previous. Like really, when we talk about disruptive technologies, what it needs to do 2 things. It needs to disrupt its previous, right? And in this case, right, I absolutely think it did that, right? Oh shit, he fucking told me.
What difficulty are you playing on? Did you end up taking the highest one?
No,
okay.
because I have literally no idea what I'm doing. But whatever, I think that was like the last guy anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it needs to have 2 things from memory.
Sometimes to move on to the next area, actually have to kill everyone.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it's not pegging itself as a stealth game. Dude, that grenade's on right now, bro.
No, it's not. It's just asking me if I want to use it. I don't.
Watch your ass!
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna fucking die here pretty bad.
Anyway, go on.
So, God, if I fail to remember this, my teacher's gonna fucking kill me because I literally learned this semester. It needs to be something else that's already kind of existing in that field, and it needs to not only reach the same level of sort of like use as that previous, but it then needs to supersede it so much, and then also be considered the norm. It needs to set the standard for what that is. So what Overwatch did was, like, its previous, basically in the competitive scene, right, was how much ammo have I got? Its previous was StarCraft 2. Let's use StarCraft 2 for example, because that's the best one, right? And it had StarCraft's been around for a few years. It had so many users, all this kind of deal, and then suddenly Overwatch comes along, right? And with its competitive mindset. And the way it works in its competitive area, and becomes the new norm. And so, I'm back here again. Okay, I'm lost. And so it got picked up as many users as StarCraft 2 very, very quickly, retained them, and then set itself up as the next standard of like, well, this is what gaming is now. Like, if I can get used to it.
But you can argue that for something like Inside as well. That you put it in the indie genre, it absolutely killed the indie genre.
No, but it didn't set the standards. I mean, it's not disruptive, right? How many people played Inside?
But then that's what I'm saying. That's not fair to say how many people played a game because there's something like Then why don't we just make every year? Let's just make a new fucking MOBA first-person shooter S.
We do.
You know, why does something like Call of Duty one every single year, where it's multiplayer based?
Because it's not disruptive. It's not innovative. Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's.
There's no innovation.
I'm giving Overwatch innovation
innovative and it's disruptive.
Like that's fair enough. That's why it's up for Game of the Year. All right, something like Dota 2 when it came out as well was like, I guess that was innovative. I can't really remember how much of what was around when Dota 2 came out for it to be considered. It didn't win though. All right, but something like for Overwatch to win, was it basing it? What was the criteria? Was the fact that it was just disruptive? Right? Inside could be argued to be disruptive as well.
No,
it says that it's something that was like in its indie genre came out, broke through it to be like absolutely revered as like one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
Is what I've read.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so did Minecraft. In fact, Minecraft did it better.
When did Minecraft come out? 2011.
Yeah.
2011. What was that up against? Was that even considered? I went up against something like Skyrim. Oh,
I don't even remember. So.
But then that's what I'm saying. Like you look at all of those titles that came out like that, right? You're saying Minecraft did it better. It came out against Skyrim, all right?
No, I'm saying Minecraft.
Brilliant single player experience.
I'm saying
like,
Minecraft.
It lost to it. Like
I'm saying Minecraft did it as an indie game that like broke through. I'm saying Minecraft did it better because we're still talking about Minecraft and we're still playing Minecraft, right? Are we going to be playing Inside in a year from now?
But that's are we playing Sky? Okay, we are playing. Are we playing Dragon's Secret? Are we playing all the? It's like those. These are.
No, but they're AAA. They're AAA titles. They're different. That's what I'm saying, though.
Exactly.
Like, you're talking about indie games. I'm saying this indie game, like all the other indie games, are going to be forgotten very, very quickly, right?
No,
So
but
it's
not going to be. Like it's because Inside is something that won't be forgotten. Something like Limbo won't be forgotten either. It's based on what it is.
No, the only people who are going to remember it are people like you and me in the media who like play these things on a regular basis. But average Joe isn't going to give a shit about it.
So average Joe picks game of the year?
Pretty much.
So average Joe. So
yes.
Well, okay, the box office, you want to go, so then let's compare it to movies. Average Joe watches the movie, all right, and box office Avengers takes massive amounts of money that year. Everyone in the world's watched it. Does Avengers win Best Picture?
No, well,
no, it doesn't.
No, because, that's because the Best Picture at the Academy is voted differently, right? The Game Awards did have like gaming media people like deciding some stuff, but it also was decided by popular vote. It was like a combination of. So like
and that's why
Inside had a shot at all was because all us gaming media folk were like Inside is fucking amazing. Like that deserves recognition.
That should,
right.
All right. I'm not saying how the Game Awards should be graded, but I feel like we should know. It's also, something that'd be nice to know.
Well, here's the thing, right? So some of the judges this year who were voting, right, was Funhouse. And it's pretty. If you ever go on the Funhouse's channel, they are fucking Overwatch fanboys to the max. Okay, if you don't think they were going to put a vote in for Overwatch, then you're a fucking idiot.
I don't know.
I think it deserved the win. Actually, I actually think it deserved the win.
Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve the win. I'm just saying it's difficult to compare the Overwatch to something like Uncharted 4. All right, unless you take it back to its raw roots of sales and shit. All right, and people who bought it / people who play it. Uncharted 4 has a multiplayer as well, but
it's shit.
Yeah, okay. Well, basing a game on its multiplayer shouldn't be a reason to win Game of the Year. All right, Witcher 3 didn't have a multiplayer whatsoever. All right, who cares, right? It won Game of the Year. I would just like to know how they've picked. What are you doing? You gotta use how they would have picked it. So like what I'm trying to say, like then the argument I pose is if Witcher 3 had went up against Overwatch, would Overwatch have still beaten? Would Overwatch have beaten Witcher 3?
Ooh, see now there's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the big. Okay, I'm saying Overwatch won it, but then I argue the criteria, and to argue the criteria, I look back at the past ones, and all the past ones are similar. The Skyrim's, Last of Us, Witcher 3s, and Dragon Ages, all of them are pretty similar.
Yeah, but here's the thing as well. Like,
so if Overwatch went against them, would Overwatch beat them? Would Overwatch be better than Witcher 3?
Well, I mean, I suppose the other thing is like
and that's where the
you're saying Overwatch doesn't have a narrative, but it actually does. It's just not expressed through the core game. It's like Destiny. Like
I was gonna say, is it like Destiny?
It's like Destiny.
Was Destiny considered for anything?
Destiny had no. I'm talking about narratively. I'm talking like Destiny has a narrative. Destiny has like all of this lore and stuff. But
and you want to talk about Destiny? Destiny was innovative in its multiplayer as well.
No, right? No,
I guess it wasn't Overwatch level of good.
No, it was Halo by another name. That's all.
I
played fucking hundreds of hours of Destiny. Right, it was Halo by another name.
Fair enough.
That didn't make it any less fun.
I can't believe
I liked Halo. Halo multiplayer.
So the big question is, let's look at one of the biggest games that have come out in the recent years, Witcher 3. Absolutely. But the way Witcher 3 won is kind of like how Inside potentially could have won, in the sense that Project Red, CD Red, honestly can't remember the name. Last week I fucking botched it as well. CD Project Red Key or something? Project CD Key Red? CD Project Red?
They just call Project Red now.
Project Red?
Yeah.
Something like Project Red, not a AAA company, kind of an indie, not indie, but like they've created all the other Witches, but that's basically all they've done, right? And they've gone up, they came out middle of the year, they came out in May, They barely marketed it. It came out and it was completely based on the fact that it was sold on its experience, and that's what Witcher 3 was. Absolutely captivating. All right. Something like it's like Inside would have been the cheap version of that indie studio. Something not heavily marketed. It's really only coming off Limbo. The company's only like big standpoint, like big like reputation is based on the fact that Limbo is absolutely got like Inside comes out and just takes it all. It just says this is the greatest in the game. Or this is one of the best games ever. All right, something like that, based on the Witcher precedent, I would have been like, oh, Inside would have had a chance. All right, which is obviously a little bit different. Because it's The Witcher. So I asked the question, you put Overwatch against Witcher, how are you saying which is the better game here? How, if these two went up toe-to-toe in Game of the Year, what would take it?
I'd give it to Overwatch.
Then, like, is it it's difficult, man.
No, here's the thing, right? You've got a bias, and that is you prefer, and it's
No, I'm trying. No,
you have a
what I'm
preference.
saying. Okay, well, I do. Obviously, everyone has a preference, right? And I go from that every experience. But let's look at it. I'm now looking at it from the point where things do have accolades. All right. Look at the past 5 winners or so. All right. All of them are huge experiences.
Like, is there?
It doesn't matter whether I have a preference or not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying those are what won.
Yeah, but
those are the winners.
Is that just because like all other purely multiplayer games before that were shit?
But is that saying a multiplayer game when it comes out and it's great, that's just going to beat something like The Witcher?
No, because look at the previous ones. Because the previous ones prove that that's not true.
What are the previous ones?
Like Titanfall never got nominated at all. I'm pretty sure.
Because it sucked.
Exactly. Right? And it's a purely narrative experience.
You have the greatest narrative versus the greatest multiplayer. What wins?
Now that's a good question, and that's one that we should that's up to like people.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but you and
greatest narrative experience in recent years versus the greatest multiplayer experience in recent years.
Yeah, but here's
what wins?
Okay, so I can't remember the name of the guy who runs the Game Awards, but the guy talked about this. He actively talked about this, and he said, "How do you decide Game of the Year?" Right? Because it's not an easy thing, and really what it comes down to is enjoyability. Which one did you enjoy more? Right? Did you enjoy The Witcher more, or did you enjoy Overwatch more? Now, if I was going to talk
subjective.
No, well, it might be, but it's subjective to the people who vote, to the judges, right? And so that's why.
Well, how are you basing enjoyability then?
On whether or not you, it's a fucking metaphysical concept, dude. Right? It's whether you played the game. Like right now, I'm not having a lot of fun playing this. To be fair, I've got the sound off. To be fair, I'm trying to talk to you. Like I'm really not playing this in its best context. But as a Game of the Year contender, I should be having some kind of fun. And really, I'm not digging the whole auto aim idea with the auto aiming at people. I'm really not understanding how the cover system works. It's not intuitive at all.
Granted, I threw you into the middle of the game.
Granted, but even then, I should know what the fucking cover button is. I still don't know what the cover button is, right? I don't even know if this game has one. It should, because it very much throws you around in cover and shit. Great, I don't want to do that at all. Can you? Oh my.
Overwatch also took best multiplayer, obviously.
That's fair.
Just thought I'd put that out there.
That's fair.
That obviously took it.
Yeah.
It went up against Siege, Titanfall, Overcooked, Gears 4, and Battlefield 1. The only one there that could really beat it would probably have been Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 might have.
Or Battlefield 1. I don't know. I know those two. I'm playing Gears right now.
But I don't know. Like, I mean, as far as like a game that just sort of like came out of nowhere and kind of like blitzed the competition, like I'd say Overwatch kind of did it. Like it was really good.
Fair enough.
And as far as like what is enjoyability, now you're asking like what is happiness, right? There's no one there's no definitive formula for that.
It's when the chemical of dopamine.
But that's beside the point. What causes that?
I'm just saying.
That's what I mean. No, but that's not what.
That is happiness.
No, that is not what. No, that is what caused.
When happiness ensues,
that is the chemical composition.
No,
that is the chemical composition of happiness. That is not happiness in and of itself.
But that is happiness.
No, because the cause of that is happiness.
Okay, no, but the cause of it is what leads to happiness.
No.
Happiness is the end result, and the end result is only achieved through dopamine in your system.
Well, okay, then what causes that?
But that's not happiness. That's just causing it. Happiness is the end result, John, and it's caused by dopamine. So fuck you. I'm giving you an answer. Now, moving on. Giving you an answer. We haven't finished yet. Best sports racing. I can't believe NBA didn't win. I'm pissed off. Forza won.
Yeah, fair.
Forza won. For starters, 2 separate games. Stop it. Stop. Why have best sports and then best racing in the same category? Annoys me.
What are you talking? It didn't annoy you a couple weeks ago.
No, it annoys me now because NBA didn't win. It annoys me now. I would have even liked it a FIFA one. All right, because these something like Forza, you drive around.
Forza's
you can't
fun.
do much more than driving.
Wait, which Forza was it?
Horizon 3.
Oh, dude, that was fucking fun as, dude.
Whatever.
Dude.
Whatever.
That was good.
Whatever. That one, best multiplayer, yeah. And here we go. Here's a good segue. Most anticipated game. So I guess we can start predicting 2017 game of the year,
Okay.
which will be fun. Most anticipated game, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
Easy pick. Then again, it did go up against Mass Effect Andromeda and Red Dead Redemption 2. Based on just those two alone, it's looking like it's going to be a solid 2017.
Red Dead 2 wasn't much in the way of like anticipation.
But it's like anticipation.
Yeah, but it was 3 days of anticipation. Then we're like, yep, we know it's coming out. Okay, and then nobody's talked about it really since.
Anyway, yeah. So Breath of the Wild, but that's interesting.
Yeah, but
I like
Breath of the
that.
Wild's also riding on the coattails of the Nintendo Switch.
Ooh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's why. Okay, yeah, it's stuck in like that kind of anticipation as well.
Yeah. So
It's anticipated because it's the first title of a new console generation. That's cool. Fair enough. And it's a Zelda game, which is basically why Mass Effect's up there as well. We haven't really seen too much of Mass Effect Andromeda, but just based on what the Mass Effect series was, that's why we're so fucking anticipated for it, which is fair enough. There's Horizon Zero Dawn too. That's interesting for that being up there. I didn't realize that would be so anticipated.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm looking forward to all of these games. God of War, Red Dead, Mass Effect. Zelda, all of them are looking good. And if this is what let's say these are like all of these 5 are going to be considered for games of the year, I guess. Like maybe that's what most anticipated is. That's its way of saying, let's look forward to 2017 because these are most likely going to be up for contention.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And that's really God of War, Mass Effect, and Red Dead. Wow, what were we like to 2008 Game Awards again?
Yeah.
2008 all over again. That's interesting. I'm keen. 2017. I'm calling Resident Evil to be out there as well.
Yeah, I reckon Resident Evil.
I'm calling Resident. Yeah.
Yeah.
My money's on the Sportsbet got Resident Evil going for about $10 over. Fuck, I take that. Resident Evil gonna take it, dude. Under the radar, bro. Anyway, I have no notes. So do you want me to just like squeeze through Kotaku or something? And just
No. Well, okay. So
you have the question that you wanted to ask?
I have a question.
Here we go. Question time.
So last week's Rooster Teeth podcast, I watched it a couple days ago, and so they were talking about Westworld.
I have not seen it.
You haven't seen it. That's okay. You don't need to understand this question. Basically, though, you've seen trailers and shit for Westworld, though, haven't you?
I know the idea of it.
You know the idea of it.
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking of Waterworld.
No, it's not Waterworld.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of Waterworld. Westworld? No, okay. No,
Okay, so Westworld is a whole planet, right? It's not a whole planet, but it's a huge area that's a giant theme park with robots that look human, right?
Oh, okay. No.
Right.
Simpsons. The Simpsons are. They did that for Itchy and Scratchy Land.
No, not quite. No.
No, but that was where they got the idea from, wasn't it?
I don't think so. No.
No?
No.
Itchy Scratchy Land things with robots and they attack people? Oh, okay.
No, it's not that at all. These robots aren't sentient at all. They have a set program, they follow a set storyline, but they look human, they sound human, and they react in human ways, but they're not human because they have no sentience.
Okay.
Right? And people pay shitloads of money to go, and it looks like the Old West, this whole area, right? And people pay shitloads of money to go there and muck around in this world, and it kind of feels like a giant MMO.
Yep.
Right? Like some of the robots will come up to you and be like, hey, so and so bandits have gotten away up into the mountains. Do you want to come with us and help catch them? Right? Which is basically like he's offering you a quest, and then you can accept or deny that quest, right, and make shit happen.
Yeah.
So it's like that. And anyway, so some people go there and they're just complete dicks, and they'll just like start shooting and raping the robots. But it doesn't matter because then those robots get replaced by other robots that look the same, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But then one of them glitches out and shit goes down, right? Because one of them goes, wait a minute, because it starts to remember that it's not from the Old West. It starts to have memories of like another simulation it was in, and it goes, wait a minute, am I from the Old West or am I from this other simulation where it thought it was in 21st century New York City, right? And you go, well, what the fuck, right? Anyway, so the question is though, right? if you could pay, like, say you were rich. Say you were like, actually, you want to play for a bit? Right. Just, while I'm talking, just fucking play. Jesus Christ. I can't play and talk at the same time. I'm trying to ask a big question here. So, say you're super rich, right? And you can afford to go to Westworld. So you pay your money and you go to Westworld and it's all grouse. But you go on your own. Say you're married, right? You have a wife.
I don't remember
right?
what to do.
I think you need to go up and, I don't know, climb on one of those things. Swing onto that chain, as he said. I like this ally guy. This ally guy is really good because he's like, you're like, we get that you don't know what the fuck you got to do, so we're going to help you do it. I like him, right?
That is Troy Baker voicing that guy.
Oh, okay.
If you can't tell.
If you can't, yeah, well, I can't hear it, so. But anyway, so say you're married and you have a wife, and she decides to stay home. You're like, I'm going to go out with the boys. We're going to go out and just spend the weekend there. And she's like, sweet, I'm going to go to this other place, right? Because I don't want to go to the Old West, she says. She says, I'm going to go to Future World, which is one we know that might be around. We don't know if it's in the show, but we know from like the book and stuff that there's a place called Future World.
Right, yeah.
Right? And she's like, I'm going to go to that place, and you can go to what? You can go run around the Wild West and have some fun with your buddies. I'm going to go to Future World and hang out with my friends. And everyone's like, yeah, sweet. No worries. Anyway, so you go to Westworld, right? You're there, you're hanging out, you go to the local bar, right? You have a few bevs, right? And so you're having a great time with your mates, right? Just
What's the question?
I'm trying to build up the situation though. There's a situation that it builds up to that the question then gets asked as part of. Anyway, so a girl comes up to you, right? And she's the prostitute that works at the bar, right?
She's a robot.
It's the Old West, right? Yeah, she's a robot.
Okay.
Right, and you know she's a robot straight off the bat.
So what's the question?
Right.
Would I fuck a robot?
No. If you had sex with the robot, right, is that considered cheating? Are you cheating on your wife?
You know what? After you've asked this, I would like to propose a counter question.
Yeah.
About Siamese, about conjoined twins, potentially.
Wait, what?
Oh, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. So, okay, you want to play? You've now asked the question, now let me answer. All right. So you're asking me if I'm with a person and I have sex with a robot.
Yep.
Is it cheating?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Why?
Because, all right, you can argue sentience. You could be like, it's not actually a person. It's just, it'd be like, if you're in a relationship and you fuck a fleshlight, is that cheating? Would you say that's cheating? Well, I wouldn't say that's cheating.
Well, see now, this is what I was.
It's just enhanced masturbation.
And now that's an interesting question. But what if it reacts like a human? Like remember,
but it's not.
Like a human.
But it's not.
It looks like a human. It talks like a human. When you have sex with it, it reacts like a human.
But it's not.
But it's not.
But it's not human.
You're right.
Okay. But then we're now at that point of technology where I guess it's at a point where we can't ask these dumb questions. Whereas 20 years ago, we couldn't have this fucking discussion.
But we're headed it like
we are heading that way.
We're heading that way.
We're heading that way where relationships are now going to be like, oh, where'd you go to the local fucking robot prostitution last night? You fucking slut. No. All right.
You fucking slut.
All right. So.
You went to the robot prostitution.
So you last night. Yeah, you fucking. All right, the day that it gets to that question, I'm not having a relationship. I'm done. I'm saying goodbye, love. I'm at a point where realistically I don't need you. No, but still, like the fact that that we can even have that kind of debate where it's like, oh, now sex, it's cheating if it's only human. All right, the fact, and then what? How do we define human? Why aren't these things human? Is human can only be can be defined by the fact that we have children and we reproduce?
Is that the thing? Is that the question though? Are you saying that it's not cheating because they're not human?
Because
right?
But that's what I'm trying to expand a little bit further.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right? Yeah, right. So
bottom line, I'm saying it's not cheating because I'm going to call it enhanced masturbation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say it's the exact same thing as if I fuck a fleshlight.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's just a fleshlight based around a bigger frame.
Okay, so now let's move on.
But is that women? No.
Like let's go a bit further on though with this question then, okay? let's assume the
I like this. Why don't we have more chats like this? This isn't about games.
Let's
This is about the real issues.
right. Well, it is kind of about games because
No,
like,
don't even relate it to a game. I don't care. Let's just have this chat.
that's like I said, like Westworld is like an MMO, and this is the thing. Like, if we can imagine that in the future, MMOs become like
Oh, beautiful.
VR and AR.
It's already getting that way.
It's getting that way. So, I mean, like, if you can have
There are sex robots in the world.
there are sex robots in the
There
world.
are.
That's what I'm
So we're
saying.
at a point now where if I'm in a relationship and I have sex with a robot, is it cheating?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
Right, but
I'm gonna
that's what I'm
say no.
saying. Like now, let me throw another factor into the mix. Okay?
All right, here we go.
So let's go a little bit further into the future, right? And say that robots, like that artificial intelligence is now so good that robots have now achieved sentience, right? And you have sex with that robot now. It is sentient. It wants to have sex. By the way, it's all consensual. The robot wants to have sex with you. It's like, dude, I think you're in a bit, right?
That's the thing. All right, that's the definer.
I want me some
Because if I'm going to a robot prostitution place,
yep,
they're not wanting to have sex with me. They're designed to just have sex.
Yep.
Something like what a fleshlight is.
yeah,
That's why I don't think it's cheating, because it's like it's kind of, I'm just gonna say it's masturbation. If a guy masturbates in a relationship, that's not cheating. It's a little bit sus, I guess. It's sus in the sense that it's like, well, why can't she just go to the pipe? You know, it could be a bunch of other factors, but at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to, like, that's one of those things you can sit back and like argue, right? But that'd be about it. And then to extend that to robots, you'd be like, this is just a robot that is kind of just simulating noises and stuff. It's not actually doing any of these things. It's just programmed to, you know, X amount of voice files will play when you. It's not genuine. It's robot. It's a fleshlight with a women's frame.
yep,
Then when you throw in sentient AI, and you know they can have feelings,
yep.
and like these are all legitimate emotions that
Yep.
robot, that AI is having.
Yep.
Ooh, that is a question.
That's what I
That
mean.
is a question.
That's what I mean.
Ooh, would
like-
you call that cheating?
Like at that point, like if that, like, even though that robot works at Westworld and everything like that, it's fully sentient and it's
It wants to work at Westworld.
it wants to work
It's
there.
getting paid to work at Westworld.
It wants to. It
It
likes.
said to me,
It
"I want
loves-
to have sex with you. You're attractive."
Yep. And
And
it likes.
And we can
having
have
sex.
we can have a conversation.
Yep.
I would like to have a conversation beforehand to be like, okay,
Oh yeah,
I
totally.
have deemed
Yeah,
you sentient.
no, you're having.
Alright?
You're
I will
having.
deem you sentient.
No, you already know this. Like this is just like, it's technology. It's like pretty goddamn normal at this point to have like sentient robots.
Still,
Like yeah,
at the end of the day,
like you're not questioning its sentience at this point.
I'm
You know it's sentient.
okay. I'm not questioning its sentience.
Yeah,
I'm not questioning it's a robot.
yeah. You know these.
The fact that I'm questioning whether it's cheating.
It even announced
Is-
itself as a sentient robot. It said, "Hello, my name is Robot.
Can I have a relationship with it?
You could theoretically. You could. It's,
So I
it's,
could
it's
have a
fully
relationship-
sentient.
Alright,
It has
I'm
emotion. Yeah,
I'm gonna say it's cheating.
you're gonna say it's cheating.
I'm gonna say at that
So-
point
So
where the line between human and robot is the fact that
Is
this thing
emotion.
can't.
it's emotion.
No,
Is that the line?
no.
Emotion.
Reproduction. That's the only. At that point, I feel like that'd be the only difference. I feel like sentient AI would have emotion, would it not?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. So then that
That's what I mean.
that
So
makes
like, even though you can't reproduce with it,
Yeah, I'm
Right.
saying it's cheating
It's-
because
it's
I'm
still
saying
cheating
emotion
because it's the emotion.
is the line
That's
that
the line.
once it's crossed,
Yeah,
that's where
right.
it's a little bit different because
Okay.
then you're playing two people, whereas before, yeah, you weren't really playing anyone, I guess. You're just having sex with a robot.
Yep.
You're kind of a sus little fucking sly piece of shit.
True.
Because why would you have sex with a
But it's
robot?
like, okay, so like
But now it's like you played the feelings of the sentient AI
right.
through its emotion.
But like
It's
this robot knows you've got a wife. Like it saw the wedding ring on your finger.
oh yeah, fucking
And wait,
humans can do that too.
Yeah, and it went, no
Alright.
worries, I still want to get some
No
meat there.
shit, humans can do that
Yeah.
too. Alright? You've just managed to stumble across a piece of shit robot. Alright? I'm calling it cheating. I don't know, I'm calling it cheating at that point. What do you think?
So like for me, yeah, the where I draw the line is at sentience.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Now, to be fair, I'm a bit of a robot racist though. Like I think robots don't deserve sentience. Like,
well, the question here is whether or not whether or not these things should be built.
yeah, true.
Um,
But that's what I mean though. But that affects the answer to my question. Is what I mean though. Like for me, the only good sentient robot is a dead sentient robot, right? And yeah, I know that like my kids are gonna look back at this and go, man, old grandpa, he was really racist against robots. You know, because I'm pro-human.
Yeah.
But like that would affect my ability to like perform. So that's important to know. So I like for me, Yeah, I agree. Like for me, the wine is at emotion. It's sort of like, oh,
How did you miss that?
I don't know how I fucking missed it, man. Because like fucking Nathan took his fucking sweet
How did you
time.
miss that? You mean the 2016 Best Performing Actor?
Yeah.
Games?
No, Nathan Drake, the character,
Yeah.
took his sweet time. Right? He wasn't up for the award. The
He was
game
up
he's
for it.
in was. The actor that played him was. Nobody else was.
Should there be a Best Video Game Character award as well? Much like Best Actor. Who was the
I think
best?
it was. I think Sonic the Hedgehog won it at some point.
What? No, not on the. Okay, maybe they've realised it's such a stupid character because basically voice actors do that now. So you're saying it's cheating if it's sentient?
Yeah,
so
I'm
we
saying
agree,
it's cheating
really.
if it's sentient,
So we
yeah.
agree.
But here's the other thing though, right?
There's another part of the question. Yes.
No, it's not another part to the question. It's another part to my answer though, and that is that while I personally don't think it's cheating, I think that if you don't ask your significant other prior to this point, that if it's cheating or not, then you're a piece of shit.
You're a piece of shit. I've said that as well. You're a piece of shit.
Right.
You should make this.
There we go. There we go. Oh fucking hell.
Alright. Yeah, so we're saying at sentience, cheating,
Yep.
beforehand, if you're having sex with a sex robot, you don't.
But you're not telling your missus beforehand.
He's just an asshole.
Or even if you haven't had that conversation at least once, saying, "Hey, look, what do you think about robots and sex and blah blah blah?" And if she's like, "Dude, you want to fuck a robot? Go fuck a robot. I don't care."
You basically fuck it every night when you're fucking having that set fleshlight. You don't think I know about the fleshlight.
Right, exactly. Right. If she's like, honey, if you don't think I don't know about the fleshlight, then you're fucking jobbing yourself out.
You're having a bit of a fucking job.
Right. All right.
You bloody carpenter. By the
Um.
way, that's news now.
Right. He's like, "Oh, you're having a laugh if you don't think that's the case."
You don't think I know what you do at fucking 11 o'clock at night.
That's right. You think I don't know?
You're not just humping the sheets, mate.
Yeah.
Alright?
But-
I'm literally right next to you.
By the way, though,
And the fleshlight's not that well hidden.
dude, like the other thing is it takes like 30 minutes of there's like 30 minutes of prep time with a fleshlight as well.
Wow, how do you know?
Because I read the instructions.
Alright.
Dude, you get bored. You get bored at 1 o'clock in the morning. You start internet shopping.
No,
and you're like, you know what?
hey,
Right?
fair enough.
There's like 30 minutes of
Fair
prep
enough. Fair enough.
for like a
Hey.
fleshlight. Right?
Fair enough.
Oh shit.
Yeah, move. Oh, well, it's good. It's one of the cutscenes. Anyway, to finish off, we'll ask my question that actually spiked my memory when you asked me
Yep.
this, because this is the kind of shit that I love asking.
Yep.
I could make a whole podcast.
I knew you would like it. I knew you would like the question.
I can't believe you watched that.
I did.
This is the kind of this is right up my alley. Just dumb questions about what ifs.
Yep.
You know, what if the robot you get sex with robots are cheating? All right. And here's my one. That twice in a row.
I don't know. I thought I'd aimed at it. I thought I'd hit it.
You gotta jump.
Oh, I have to jump.
You gotta jump.
Oh, okay. Right.
You gotta jump. It's one of those things that you jump from.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You learn that one first level.
What? Yeah, I didn't play the first level, did I?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you learn that like the first level, so it's not your fault, I guess. All right. My question is, say you have conjoined twins, all right, and they're conjoined at the hip.
Okay.
All right. So bottom half, 2 legs, one vagina, but top half.
Oh, so they connected at the hip. So they connected at the badge.
Let's say connected to the veg. Let's say like they're just from waist upwards. It's 2.
Oh, they're 2 people.
It's
Okay.
2 bodies.
Okay.
And then they've just
But they
shared
got
legs.
one set of legs.
They got one set of
Right. So from the
one set of
from the pelvis down.
from the pelvis down, from uterus down. They have one set of legs, one set of vagina.
Okay.
Not two
Okay.
vaginas. If it was 2 vaginas, it's a different question.
Yep. Okay.
All right. And so, okay, you met a conjoined twin like that. First part of the question:
Yep.
If you have sex with a conjoined twin, is it a threesome? Is a threesome between 2 people or 2 separate body parts? 1 penis, 2 vagina. Is that threesome or is it 3 people? Question.
Well, I mean, you could ask the question in another way. You want me to make that question even more complicated for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So if you want to make that question even more, oh, here we go. This is going to be the love interest. Okay.
No, it's not. It's not. Go on. It's going.
All right. Okay. So you want to make this question even more complicated? Okay. So instead of them being conjoined at the hip, what if they're conjoined at the head and they share a brain?
Okay, whatever. Just answer. Okay. Fuck me.
Right. So they're 2 separate people except they're conjoined at the head.
Alright, okay, okay, well then we're going into a deeper territory that I really haven't had. We haven't got enough time to talk about that. Let's just answer this one. Alright?
Alright,
So
so
you're having sex.
okay.
Really, it's exactly the same as having sex with 1 person,
Yep.
but it's 2 people, 2 brains, and I'm going to assume two separate different emotions, right?
Yep.
1, obviously, we're going to assume that you have consent from both.
Yep.
Which might lead to my next question: if you have consent with 1 and not the other, is it that?
Yep.
All right. Alright, you have consent from both, and you're in, alright? Is it a threesome?
And you're in!
And
Oh, yeah, you locked yourself in.
and you're in, alright?
It's like you're going for a ride at a fucking roller coaster, you're in.
Alright, you're in, okay? Alright, you're right up there, okay? Is it a threesome?
You know what? Because you've got two separate minds here at work, like I would say yes.
Okay, you're saying it's a
You're
threesome.
having sex with two separate entities.
Good.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree that it's a threesome.
Yep.
Alright, that's an interesting. And then the other part of the question is if you have consent from one but not consent from the other, you know, it's well, what's the situation? One, how am I going to find conjoined twins? And two, if you're conjoined twins and someone wants to have sex with you, I think
No, okay. So conjoined twins do have sex though.
No, I'm not saying they don't.
Right.
I'm not saying they don't. You got to fight here, by the way.
Oh, do I? Oh, I see. Okay. Whatever. You know, fucking. You know.
Right. Yeah. So okay, we're both agreeing.
A
A threesome is between three people, not two, not.
It's about how many brains.
It's
are
about how many
brains are fucking right now.
Right. Also, what I want to know, and we can't answer it, obviously, we won't until we meet a conjoined twin. But if I'm having sex with a conjoined twin, are you both feeling it? I feel like you're both feeling it. I feel like you're both getting
it depends on where they conjoin them. Like I said, like there are some, like most conjoined twins aren't conjoined in that kind of way. That's extremely rare. Like usually it's a case of like they're joined and there's like it's just like skin or like bone. Usually it's the bone that's the same.
Yeah.
Right, but nothing else. And so in those kinds of situations, like conjoined twins have like boned like with other people, and usually the other one just goes to sleep, doesn't even know it's happening, like doesn't feel it, it sexually in any way.
Fair enough.
They just get really fucking annoyed because it's like, dude, I'm trying to go to fucking sleep here, and you're like keeping me awake with your sex noises.
Fair enough.
You know.
Fair enough, actually. Yeah.
So it's like generally it's like that.
I'm glad I heard your opinion on that. I'm glad we agree too.
Right.
It's between three people, not three body parts.
No, it's three people.
Three people. Yeah. So that's one of my life goals is to meet a conjoined twin. Not for that, but I just want to meet them. I would love to meet a conjoined twin in that kind of way. I'll prepare for the heel turn.
I can't shoot this bitch.
Prepare for the heel turn.
I don't care. I'm gonna shoot this bitch in the head. All right. No, wait. I'm not controlling him. Okay. Sorry. I thought I was controlling him for a second.
Calm down, okay?
Fuck Rave's a douchebag. Rave's the bad guy. That guy.
That guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He does look like a douchebag.
His art design is beautiful. Like
He actually, you know what he actually does? He looks like Le Chiffre from the guy who played Le Chiffre in Casino Royale, but like way younger.
fair enough. But yeah, that was. I feel like that's what a way to end it. What a way to end it. We've discussed two of the most important topics of all time. Is having sex with a sentient robot cheating, and if it's with a conjoined twin, is it a threesome for three people or three body parts? And we've answered both. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay? We got time. What's your one? If they have the same head. So if it's,
okay.
if they have the same, so if it's like so if it's like this,
like that, but they share a
but
brain.
they share the brain.
Yeah.
But they have three. They have body parts. They have vagina.
Everywhere else is two separate people.
Everywhere else,
two sets of arms, legs,
Everywhere else, two
vaginas,
sets of
everything. Two separate hearts and guts and everything.
But
but they share a brain.
Would you call that one person or two people? That's the end of the day.
Well, see, now here's
at the end of the day.
Here's the thing, because there is a person that actually is like this.
Okay, no,
there is like this in the world.
Is
and the thing is that those two heads, effectively, even though their brains are connected, they're two separate entities.
Well, there you go. That's a threesome.
Right?
That's a threesome.
So that's a threesome too. Okay.
Yeah. If they're considered two people.
Yep.
It's like, how do you define that they're two people? One has a thought, the other one has a different thought.
Yeah.
One feels something, the other one doesn't feel something.
Yeah.
Are they able to think separately?
They're able to think independently.
Then really they're just connected.
Okay. Because what I was getting at there though was like it's like where do we draw the line between mind and body? Because the hardware, the physical like mushy bit is all one big fat mushy bit.
Yeah.
Right inside the skull, right?
Yeah.
But there are two minds in that big fat mushy bit, right? So here we go. Here's another one. Here's an interesting brain teaser though. It's much simpler. It's one person. Okay, having sex with one person, but right. They've had.
Tell me you say schizophrenia.
They've had schizophrenia. Sorry, not schizophrenia. Sorry, they had really bad epilepsy, and they've had their brain cut in half. So cut down the middle, separate.
They're still a person. They're still a person.
But there's two different people in there because. But
who's thinking? But that's one person.
Yeah, but there's two minds.
What fucking situation is that?
They have, like, seriously, it happens.
Who is that? For starters, a brain transplant's
Far-
never been done before.
No. It's far more common where people have, like, the two hemispheres separated in half, right? And then what happens is generally, like, okay, they'll stand in the closet, right? And they'll be like, okay, I want to have this shirt, but then their other arm, without them knowing, will slap their hand away and grab another shirt.
Really?
Yeah, that happens.
What the fuck? Seriously?
This happens, yeah.
We're going to do a bit of
Another
research
part of,
after we finish this.
Another part of it is, like, they'll put on a pair of pants, and because you know, their dominant half is, say, like, you know, say their right brain, right? Their right brain is putting on, like, say, jeans, but without even knowing it, because they're not, because the other half of the brain's making its own independent decisions, right? The other half of the brain starts putting on a pair of shorts. So they can't put their pants on.
Well, can't they when they're both looking down? One's not looking here, one's not looking here.
Well, but each eye is going to a separate half of the brain.
Oh,
this eye goes to this brain, and this eye goes to this brain.
We're getting to a point where
so anyway,
there's no point.
Anyway, so you meet this person, right? They're having a chat.
Difficult.
They say, "I want to have sex with you."
Difficult.
You take them home and have sex with them. Are you having a threesome? Because there's two brains here, right? And if both halves of the body are both getting right into it, right? Is that a three-way? Because there's two separate entities in the one body.
And we'll leave it there.
In fact, you know what? I actually seriously want to know the answer to this question.
And we'll leave it
so,
there.
like, say something in the comments, please do. Please say something in the comments. I really want to hear what people think about this, because I think that's a really fucking crazy question. All right, that's where we're gonna leave it there. So,
damn it.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a fucking brain bender, isn't it?
We'll just leave it there.
Right? Yeah. So we will leave it there. So. And then, like, this cutscene has been going on for a really long time.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to do something in the middle of this, by the way?
No, it's just...
Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's
well,
pretty cool
I'm out of beer. I can't clink.
We'll just clink.
We'll clink anyway. Alright, I'm John McLeish.
David Jang!
See you guys. Oh, here we go. Fucking bleed you! That's great. And, you know.
So I just Googled inside meaning, and I should have known what I was going to get when I typed in inside meaning onto Google. Inside, noun. The inner side of surface or something.
Yeah.
I should have known. That's my fault. Adjective, situated on or in the inside. I'm being jobbed out by the fucking search engine.